and welcome to the Meta Beauty channel. Today's video, I really aim to be very short and sweet because it's totally improv, but I felt like it's something that I had to talk about because it's something that I've been working on for probably a whole lifetime. And I'll be quite honest, I haven't made as much progress as I have wanted to in this area of my life for various reasons, because when it comes to working at anything in life, our priorities will always get our attention. And for me, honestly speaking, I don't really give a fuck, but connections and relationship have never been a priority in my life. They're essential, and I really think that connections and relationships are very important in life, but it's never been like on the top of my priority list. I just feel like in terms of purpose, I have so much more to do and give. And as collateral damage, relationships have always fell on the back burner, completely unintentionally. Like this isn't like planned, or it just happens. It happens when you have priorities and other than that. But I do recognize the significance and impact that connection has on health, well-being, and overall life. And it has been an area that I have been focused on for a while. But again, like life happens, and my aim has been to give the same amount of attention to connection as I do with other higher priority areas in my life, like my career, fitness, and other things like that, but it just has not worked out that way. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with where I am in the journey of my life, knowing that everything happens as it should be. I am exactly who I am right now. I am who I am and where I'm supposed to be at this moment of time in my life for a reason. And I think if we all approached life with that perspective, we will get so much more out of it, because there's a lot of little things that we need to work through in order to get to that big picture outcome that we're all after. And I don't want to rush it. I don't want to rush through anything in life. I have all the time in the world. We have all the time in the world. And you miss things in the little details. So I have very much learned to embrace the slower, much more methodical, strategic, precise, and meditative approach towards life, instead of the rat race rush where everybody's running to but they end up nowhere because they don't really take the time to reflect, which is another thing. Like reflection is always a top priority in my life. Like I don't just do things to do things. Like it has to have a meaning, it has to have a purpose, and you best believe I will be reflecting and thinking about every single angle of that, of whatever it is that I'm doing. So yeah, it's just my approach to life. We're all entitled to our own beliefs, our own values, and our own way of living our lives. And that's number one of life 101. Don't let anybody tell you how to live your life or run your life, and start running your life on your own terms, because you realize that's when the path becomes clear, because you're no longer following anybody else's path but your own, right? Like we all have these things that we want to do in life, and sometimes they overlap with others, but it doesn't have to. And we have to be so confident and so trusting in our own path that nothing or anyone gets in the way of it. And that's when life gets interesting, because then you start to live life step by step by step. And you're so in tune and in connection with yourself that you can feel the slightest shift when you've taken one misstep, right? And this is where being in tune with yourself becomes very, very important, because you're able to recognize, was this a misstep or was this 10 steps back? What the fuck happened? Do I need to like reroute? I just detoured, and this is life. It could get messy. You just because you have a GPS system and a goal and something you're working towards doesn't mean it's going to be a straight path. And most of the time it's not. There's detours, there's twists and turns, and it's all beautiful. It's all a part of the process. But if we're so focused on everybody else and what they're doing, you'll never get it. and you'll never become you. You'll never be the most authentic version of yourself. You'll never achieve your purpose, and you'll never actualize whatever it is that you need to actualize in this lifetime. So I really urge you to really stay connected to yourself as priority. Really maximize connections and relationships naturally. Do not force relationships under any circumstances. And I think that's where I am right now, where it's like, yes, I want connections, and yes, I want healthy relationships, but I really have not been feeling like I've been connecting well with my past relationships. And there's a reason for that, because I am no longer in the same wavelength as where I was. That's what growth is. And it hurts and it's painful, and you outgrow a lot of things and a lot of people, but that's a part of the process. And there's this period of like, okay, it's kind of like limbo between heaven and hell. It's like, okay, I'm here. Like, I'm not really sure where I am, but I know I'm somewhere different than what I was. And I know it's good, but it's taking some time. And this is the waiting period where you have to be confident in who you are and where you are, and just find the freaking light and the lesson in every single moment and hold on to that. That's it. A lot of life is holding, but I'm gonna be honest, like, I was not good at holding and sustaining. I was very good at achieving any goal. Like, I'm good with the up and down, guys. Sustaining has always been my challenge, but I gotta be honest, this whole year I have sustained a lot of shit, including my weight, which I haven't been able to do for my whole life. I've always been up and down. I have sustained a steady weight this whole entire year, which is a great accomplishment. And not only my weight, it shows everywhere in my life. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything, and everything shows, right? In your finances, in your health, in your career, everywhere. So, I originally, the topic of this video was connection. And I wanted to emphasize the importance of connection, but the importance of true, genuine, deep, meaningful connection. Not just connecting to connect, knowing that every connection and every exchange of energy is going to affect you in some way. So you want to make sure that the inputs of connection are positive, right? And if, it's just the nature of life, you got to deal with uneasy people, negativity all the time, and there's no way around that. But we can always protect ourselves, we can always protect our energy, always set our intention, and just stay committed to the path, which is ultimately the hardest part of everything. But yes, connection is very, very important. But I aim to show you guys that it's important to have deep, meaningful connection, not just connection, and not feel so tied to old connections if things have just died out. Like, just let it go freely. Embrace the relationship for what it was. Acknowledge everything it did for you. Accept the reality of the relationship right now, and just let it go into the abyss. Allow it to become whatever it needs to become in the future. Who knows? You'll be surprised. Like, maybe it turned into something even more beautiful in the future. Maybe it doesn't. That's the beauty of life, not knowing, right? I'm in this big phase of just like allowing things to be as they are, not forcing anything. And that, guys, is the secret to peace, because you realize that it literally frees up so much energy to be in this just energy of like acceptance and allowance, because nothing troubles you. You allow things to happen, and you realize you don't really have to control much but yourself. And that's way better than try to control everything, because been there, not fun. So yeah, that's just the tip of the day. Prioritize meaningful connection. It is definitely important. Get your oxytocin in. I'm always just like, if I need something to motivate me to connect and like actually interact, I'm just like, oxytocin, Oxytocin. And if you guys don't know, oxytocin is the love and connection hormone. It's actually very, very necessary for our survival. In fact, connection has been one of the greatest health determinants ever, even greater than the nutrition. Like, if you were to do a study of people and deprive them from food, one group, and then deprive the other group, give the other group food, but deprive them of connection, you would see that the group that was given the food but not the connection would die first, and the group that had connection but didn't have food would survive. That's how important connection and oxytocin is. But you don't get the oxytocin boost or the hormone if you're not really feeling the connection. So that's the secret. You want meaningful, deep, and positive connections. I'll leave you with that thought. I hope you have a wonderful day, and sending so much love and gratitude to you guys.